in the other. So hopefully we're going to have that popping up here pretty quick. Boom. Looks like we're on and rolling, kind of looks like. Let's find out. I think we're there, though. All right. Kind of looks like it. Seeing it there.
Well, again.
Seeing it there, and looks like we got it. Okay. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing? Happy Friday. High Desert Music Channel, as per usual, with the Friday night extravaganza. You know, I'm probably going to want to do some MIDI conversations tonight. Had big stuff going on tonight, this week, with the MIDI. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of, as per usual, making sure I get at least one viewer, and firing up my own YouTube there, so at least somebody's watching the show. Anyhow, I think we're probably going to want to talk about some MIDI tonight. Had some big gains, some big movement with that. So I kind of started to figure out some sequences, stuff like that. But before we get into that, yes, again, because we kind of jumped around there a minute. Anyway, happy Friday night. Welcome to the show, High Desert Music Channel. Give us a like on some of the videos. Check them out. Our crappy covers are there, for your viewing enjoyment. Go check them out. Give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us some comments, good, better. Otherwise, we'd sure love to hear them. We are, again, we're Twitch. We are Rumble. We are YouTube. We're spreading out the footprint to nobody. So, such is the world. But, hey, we're going to keep on going and hopefully start zeroing in on stuff you guys like a little better. As usual, we got the crowd here. There they are. They got their tacos. The lights are lit up, so they know it's time to holler and yell. All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So we like keeping those guys happy. They're loud tonight. They're worked up. It was a big day. Big day here at High Desert Music. We did shrimp tacos tonight. So the crowd was really amped up about the shrimp tacos tonight. Because, generally we just do ground beef. Once in a while, I'll throw down some chicken or something. But, this time it was shrimp tonight. So the crowd was really happy. They're super fired up, aren't you guys? There you go. And again, so yeah. Let's talk MIDI tonight for a little while. That was kind of one of my practice goals that I had talked about on Monday for the week, was to kind of get in with this MIDI and really start to kind of figure it out. And it's working. Like I kind of was hinting at there earlier, I got some sequences down to kind of figure out what they were. I wasn't real sure, exactly what they were talking about when I started pulling them in and using them. But I figured out, well, okay, that's kind of cool. That's basically somebody else that's put the tune together, the basis of the tune, and I can take a few things out and I can add some things there and then layer on top. So yeah, huge progress there, and still not entirely capable of making fantastic music or anything like that. But, going to keep trying, obviously. I think I'm going to have some stuff figured out. Last night I was playing with it for a while and had a couple things sounding pretty decent. Sounded good to my ear. And God only knows what the rest of the world would think about it. But it sounded, pardon me, pretty decent to my ear. So that's going to continue to be a big focus. Just figuring out how to pull in a sequence that's already put together, and maybe use a kit, use one of the kits that's available. that wasn't made, it's completely separate from what that one was put together with. If you understand, some of the program, what they mean by program in MIDI files and stuff, then you understand what I mean. What kit you're using, which drum kit, what piano kit, that sort of a thing. So that's really starting to come together, and I'm starting to figure that out pretty well. And I think I'm going to have something, hopefully, for the show. I wanted to kind of have something for the show, some opening and closing music for the show this week, today. Didn't obviously happen. But we're going to keep trying and try to get to that so that I've got music for the show, that's my own. Try to maybe start getting stuff that's decent enough to put it out on Spotify and let it loose for the world to hear it. That's kind of what I'm wanting to lead into. So, I mean, in terms of practice this week, it was pretty decent for that. The bass and the guitar. I had kind of laid out a goal to... Okay, hang on. Let's just get rid of this thing from the jump, because it's going to drive me fucking batty. Anyway, so, bass and guitar. Well, I did make it a few more steps, a few more measures of the way to having Never Gonna Give You Up completely memorized and not needing to follow along, just be able to play it. The bass tunes, I really haven't memorized any yet. That goal didn't really take shape at all this week. Did a lot of playing. I did a fair bit of playing. It was nice this week. Out here in the desert, it's getting cold. It's cold in the mornings, middle 50s. So it's nice. You can sit on the porch and play for a while before it warms up. Evenings are getting nice now, My porch isn't necessarily the place to play at night. It kind of looks dead on at the sunset, but right now the sunset ain't so bad. We got some clouds. It's monsoon season around here. So it's not 148 degrees anymore. It's 90, 92, not so bad. Anyway, so I played a lot this week. I spent a fair bit of time. No real memorization. Did make some improvements with Metallica 1. Starting to get that ending sequence. Is open E, second fret A, open E, third fret A, boom, 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 and it's tough, man. It's it's kind of tough because it's open, second fret, open, third, or open, second, open, second, open, third, open, second, open, second, open, third, and it's tough. It moves quick. It's tough. It's not. It's kind of a bounce. It's got like sort of a bounce to it, kind of. But I'm figuring that out. That one's getting better and better. One I picked up this week that I hadn't really played before, Leaving on a Jet Plane. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Professional, as always, by God, right here on High Desert Music Channel. So anyway, Leaving on a Jet Plane. Started playing that one this week. I lived in Aspen for a while, hung around in Aspen for a while, years ago, 30 years ago. Not a John Denver fan. The guy was a schmuck. Personal opinion. We all know how opinions are. I thought the guy was a schmuck. Didn't like him. Didn't care for him personally. And learning to play that tune. It's a great tune. Everybody knows it. Everybody likes singing it. Everybody likes playing it. It's kind of one of the reasons I started to play it. Like, maybe I can pick up both ends with that one, guitar and bass, and sing it at the same time because I've known it my whole life. And it's got some crazy spots in it playing the bass. Just the picking speed and the nature of how you pick through it. I play with a pick. We've covered that before. I don't play with fingers. I play with the pick. and so the nature of it is a little tough, and the speed changes and the rhythm pattern that the pattern of picking that you do will change from measure to measure. It makes it really kind of tough to play, believe it or not. But it's a great tune. So I made some good headway with that one, even though that guy was, hanging around in Aspen back then. You just kind of knew that guy seemed to have a enjoyment for driving around when he should have after he left one of the local bars. And he just wasn't the nicest of guys. Great songs, great tunes, for the most part. Guy just wasn't the nicest of guys. Anyway, so that tune is one we've been playing and working on, and it's coming together pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how far that one came, in a week. Which is kind of one thing I'm starting to notice as the time goes by, and as I play more and I play more and I play more and I play different things. I think that helps too, to not just always play the same kind of music, but to play everything that musician throws up at me, is what I will generally try to play. Whatever musician says it thinks I should play, I'm going to play. With that, I've started to notice that it's easier for me to pick new songs up quickly. The last 2 or 3 songs I've tried to pick up have come pretty quick and easy. So I'm noticing that my hands are getting there, my fingers are getting there where I'd like them to be, and kind of dancing through and knowing where they need to land. I think that's a huge part of practice, of playing, of making progress with stringed instruments like this, guitars and basses. Knowing where your fingers are and not really having to think about where your fingers land. Just, you can start to trust at some point they're going to land in the same spot where they're supposed to. And that's kind of a cool feeling. It really is, man, to realize I don't have to watch my fingers anymore, as closely as I did anyway. There's times that I do. As I've talked about before on the show, I still need to work on proper finger positioning, meaning one finger, one fret. The crooked finger that I show off all the time still likes to throw that one out of the way, and just kind of take over. And I know that my wrist is not quite in the right spot sometimes, and I play a lot sitting down, which isn't helpful for getting your wrist in the right spot. At least for me, it's a little harder. But nonetheless, making progress with that, and the fingers are starting to be more adept and kind of just know their way around the fretboard without having to think about it quite so much, which is nice, is big, it's big. I am gonna, kind of a sidebar, more of a channel thing than a practice thing or whatever. I am going to try to get a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee and all that stuff put together in the next couple of days, and redo all the channel descriptions on all the various places. In the hopes of kind of getting a little help here and there to run the show, and to, I don't even, dollar bills would be great. But at this point in the show, the few of you that are watching here and there, as much as I could use the money to keep afloat and keep this thing going and stop spending my own money to do it, and have some help with it anyway, a little bit of financial help with it, I would much rather right now have content input from the crowd. What do you guys want to see? I mean, you just want to see some redneck like me sit around and talk about music and life? Do you actually want to try to practice on these shows? You hear about my struggles in practice and the things where I'm doing better with practice, and when it's going right. So a little bit of help like that would be cool. And like I said, I'm going to get the Patreon and all that stuff up in the hopes that I can start really spreading the footprint on this channel a little bit, and get to people, new folks that aren't probably directly acquainted with me somehow. Because I'm pretty sure that's what all of my viewers are right now, are people that I know personally. Which I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It truly does mean a lot that anybody would take the time to come and watch these terrible shows that I'm putting on. I try to get them better. I'm not 100% sure how to make them better. You know, again, some input from the folks watching would be helpful. To know what you guys want to see, what you want to talk about, what you want to hear me talk about. I mean, you know, it's always Friday night. It's always 9 o'clock. So, I mean, you guys could jump in on the chat. I can answer chats on the air if that's what you guys want to get into. I mean, you know, hey, man, I'm full to the brim of marginal advice. Just ask for it. I'll hand it out like water. Marginal at best. Always remember that. Marginal at best. So, anyway, what else is new this week? You know, a couple more things from the stack of stuff had to go their own way today. Doesn't thrill me. Such is the world. Obviously trying pretty hard to change that. It's not quite working out in my favor like I would like it to. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. Trying, you know. Try again. That's just all a guy can do. But part of that is that's part of the reason that I really would like to get some of this MIDI down, you know, and really get a little bit better at creating tracks, which is going to lead me into something else here in just a minute. Because I think, you know, I can see now in my own future the possibility, how remote it may be is yet to be determined, but the possibility that I could come up with something that could be licensed, and you know, an extra stream of income be created with music, you know, with a tune that I can figure out how to come up with. Certainly that would be cool, and the prospect of that seems really interesting to me, and I really would like to do that. So now what I was going to get to with that, back to the original point of tonight's show, and practice the MIDI and kind of focusing on that tonight again, like we did on Wednesday, sort of. I picked up some free MIDI packs, a couple of them. Melodic Mind, I think, was one of them. It seemed to have a huge collection of stuff, and it was free. So I need to figure out how to integrate that into the MPC beats, or really, you know, figure out if maybe Ableton Live Lite, Ableton 12 Live Lite, whatever. That maybe that one's the one to use. See if I can get some of these other plugins in. You know, and it does really make me wonder if I wouldn't be better off to, you know, at some point sooner than later, get into like the co-producer or Chord Genie or some of these other ones that you see, you know, on YouTube ads and stuff. Like if I look at personally, if I go through the Instagram page that I have for the channel, which doesn't have much on it, I'm really not much of a social media kind of guy. But if I go look at that, you know, it's full of music lessons, music school, music degrees, online music degrees, plugins, MIDI stuff, because that's what I'm looking at when I'm on Instagram. I try to keep that account, you know, I try to keep my accounts separate so that my personal stuff that I watch on YouTube doesn't mix up with what I watch on the channel. I don't, you know, follow the same people, things like that. I don't know that this stuff matters. You know, if somebody really wants to know who you are, they're going to figure it out in this day and age. Yeah, let's keep that in mind. There ain't no way to hide from the dumb shit you done before, man. God knows I've done a lot of it. Over and over and over. But such is adult life, right? Just continue to screw it up and keep on breathing. So anyhow, maybe one of these MIDI, like the Chord Genie and some of these co-producers, maybe those are things that a guy really needs to bring in to help you progress in creating music, and seeing if we can and see if I can come up with something that works. I don't know. Like I said, last night I had somebody else's initial sequence, and I pulled a couple of hi-hats out of it, and added crash cymbals instead, and it was close. It wasn't quite right, like a ride crash cymbal. It was close, but it wasn't 100% right, so that one, but in the end, I kind of changed it around. Here's the point. I kind of changed around that sequence and was able to figure out that, okay, I can start here, and that gives me a decent bass line. And I didn't quite get the cymbals right. I'm going to try it again tonight or tomorrow, whatever. I'll try it again. And I think I had the cymbals not quite right. I added a kick drum and two different 808 bass sounds. And that was actually coming together pretty well. And it kind of rounded it out, gave me kind of what I was looking for. And then I kind of figured out a tube synth, little part. And it was really coming together, and it sounded really cool. And I had it going for, 5 or 10 minutes, definitely long enough to make a whole track out of. But didn't record it. Because, why would I do that? Why would I record the shit when it actually sounds like something decent? Why make it easy on myself? So that was that. But I think I can come back to it. I think I can find what I'm looking for with that again. I know where I was in terms of what sequence I was using. So hopefully I can make a go of that one. And I don't know. But it was working, and that's my point overall, that continue to put the effort in, continue to put the time in, and I'm getting there. I'm getting what I want out of it, sort of. Beginning to get what I want out of it. So that's been kind of a big thing for me this week in terms of music. Like I said, a few things had to vanish off of the stack, and that's not the most thrilling in the world. There's still plenty of stuff in the stack. Don't misunderstand. But that, it's one of those things, man, like it makes you really think about how much do I want to keep doing these shows, and the channel in and of itself. Like, I would prefer to figure out how to make this work. And, be the vast majority of my time and income. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm working on that. I'm trying to obviously make these a little better. We've changed up the camera angle. We put some new stuff behind us to try to create something visually appealing. I am going to start working on better thumbnails. I'm going to try to run all of the videos that I've already put out. So, this might take me a while. I don't know. But I'm going to try to take the 70 some odd videos that I've already got out and run them through some AI software to try and get better thumbnails, better descriptions, better titles, catchier stuff. Make them a little more grabby, a little more catchy, a little more eye poppy, that kind of thing. And try to spread the footprint out that way. So that's going to be part of my work this week. To try and figure that out, and I've got some pictures moved around now that I kind of like. I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the way I'm going to try to get the dog in. The dog I think the dog would probably draw people in just because it's a dog. people like dogs, obviously. So that's on the list, to try and get better thumbnails and a better description for the channel. Get some of those links put in, kind of make the channel look a little better, look a little more professional, slightly, until you watch the show. Once you watch the show, all bets are off, man, because there ain't a whole lot of professional going on in here, is there? But the crowd is happy. The crowd. Round 2 of the shrimp tacos is coming out, I see. So let's give them a reason to hoot and holler, because, they did come here to see something good, and I don't know that we've given it to them yet tonight. But, so, I'm in that position now of, I really gotta make a solid, hard decision about this channel, and to continue to not continue. I'm kind of up against a wall of not a whole lot of time left before I'm just going to have to knuckle under and go back to the real job, and try to focus on that. And that would almost mean giving up on the show, because then I'm either driving hours and hours a day, literally 5 or 6 hours a day, because I've done it, and drag my dumb ass to and from Aspen every day to go to work, back on some construction site, literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say this kind of thing, but some of the 100 richest people on the planet and go build their vacation houses in Aspen, you get paid pretty good to do it, man. But that's leaving the house at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's getting home at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And, the show pretty much goes out the window. Any time to practice and play is gone. I haven't had much luck finding that kind of thing here, super local, to be able to do that and the show. Still working on that. Got some feelers out there, but I'm at that point where it may very well turn into I just have to shut it down and say sorry guys, and take one of these jobs where I go out on the road for 3 or 4 months and come home for 2 or 3 days. In the kind of work I do, those jobs are everywhere. They pay pretty good, and I can get one tomorrow. I know enough people. I could be in some other state doing, working on a building next week. I don't want to do that. And therefore, we're going to get the. That's why we're going to get the Patreon. We're going to get the Buy Me a Coffee. We're going to get all that stuff put up, and I'm really going to focus in the next 8 to 10 days on, because I think that's pretty much about as long as I'm going to be able to last, without having something relatively solid to lean on at the end of that time. So I'm going to hammer this stuff out and try to get some AI involved, and get some help. Kind of up the footprint of the channel, up the quality of the channel. Look into other ways to get better content for you guys. I don't know. I've been considering that perhaps I should start doing like a live show every morning. Like Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, except without the Regis and without the Kathy Lee. But now, if you don't know what that means, you're young, and it's not my fault. Okay? If you know who Regis and Kathy Lee are, well, you're old like me or older, and good. So you get it. No. I'm thinking maybe I should start filming like my live in the mornings when I'm playing. Who knows, man? Folgers and Fenders or something, Personally, I drink cheap coffee. I'm not interested in the $9 cups. I like the $8 big containers of Folgers. Blacker at night. I don't want nothing in there. Just coffee. A little water or ice, so I can get temperature right and actually drink it. totally off subject, has nothing whatsoever to do with music, but let's talk about it for a minute. So I got me, a couple years ago, I got me one of them Yeti coffee mugs, right? You guys have seen them things around there. A lot of people have them, right? The high dollar ones. So I got this crazy high dollar Yeti coffee mug, and I mean, it keeps the coffee so hot, it's insane. So yeah, I don't put anything in my coffee other than ice or cold water to get the temperature right, because that Yeti is just it's insanely insulated, and coffee stays hot for like 47 hours. It's horrible. It lasts through a Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy movie. Anybody got that one? Anybody? Huh? Put it in the chat. Come on, man. Name that movie. Nobody names that movie. Yeah. You know, there's another game we could play every week. I don't know. We got enough viewers to actually make it some sort of a contest. So there you go. I got one guy that says he agrees. One man agrees. Old Roscoe comes through again. Thanks, Ross, for watching. We certainly appreciate it. Yeah, you know, Folgers and Fenders, man, because I do have a Fender guitar and I have a Fender bass. I can sit on the porch, drink Folgers, and play music in the morning for a while. You know, maybe. I mean, somebody sitting at their desk, you know, could turn it on and hear crappy covers. If at some point I was able to forget that stupid camera was there, then the playing would get it better. It's amazing to me how I can play the same song 400 times and only miss, 4 or 5 notes out of 300. And then put it on camera, and suddenly I've never played that fucking song before, and I miss 265 of the 300 notes. And and it takes 47 takes. Here's a good example. I put down, I recorded a acoustic guitar and acoustic bass, Star Spangled Banner, and the bass part, I'm a little better with the bass. It's easier to play. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yadas. That one maybe took me 8 or 10 tries to get a flawless. It's a Star Spangled Banner. I am not going to record it and give it to somebody with any missed notes. I'm going to play every note correctly. So it took me 8 or 10 tries to get it with bass. Not so bad, 15, 20 minutes, and I had it. Then I decided, all right, let's bang it out with a guitar. 27 takes later, I stopped for the night because I was just pissed off. And then the next day, it still took another 6 or 8, just because I knew there was a recorder going. So that's one of those. But I also would like to kind of use that music along with the MIDI. I was kind of thinking about that. That could be an interesting way to make a name for yourself. My guitar, my bass, and some MIDI extras to Star Spangled Banner, and crank out something like that. That could be a licensable thing. Maybe that would go somewhere that somebody might like or use. So I mean, I do have a lot of these things running around in my head, man, of how I can try to get an income and a life from the music that I've learned to enjoy so much, and from the music that has just completely bitten a hold of me, even in these days when things have to walk away from you and vanish, and days that aren't so good, and for a million reasons a day cannot be so great. A friend of yours has a family member with an issue, and that can chew up some of your day and some of your concern and your time, and your brain power and your own world mixed in with that, and your mother's world all mixed into that too, and your kids. And but the music will take care of it. The music will take care of it. And again, as I say almost every episode, that's the point of the channel, that's the point of the show, that you as the viewers and I as the host show the rest of the people out there that are our friends, that are our family members, that are people we've never met before, that there is something to be gained from music. There is a reason that people have been at it for millions of years. Even in the digital age, it's not the same as beating sticks on a bucket or beating sticks on a concrete wall or a stone wall or whatever. It's still making music because it does something. There's something. I don't know what you call it, man. Who knows? There's just something. And that's the point of the channel. That I try to give you guys a smile and some motivation to go play, some motivation to go learn, some motivation to go get into something that you've never done before, whether it be music, whether it be some sort of artwork, whether it be, writing poetry, books, whatever, man. Do something. Like, create something. Build a doghouse. Build a real house. That's the point. That's the whole point of the channel, that music seems to be one of those creative outlets that you can get out what you need to get out of your mind, and step away from the stuff that you want to step away from in your mind, and grow and learn and create so much cool stuff for yourself and for other people. That's the point of the channel. And that's what we want to do. That's why I keep asking you guys to share the show and give me some likes and some comments and subscribe to the channel. Pass it along to anybody you think that might want to see it. The more times the show gets shared, that's better in the algorithm in terms of YouTube trying to put it in front of other people that maybe wouldn't see it otherwise. So, if you got people in your phone list that aren't going to give a shit that you've just sent them a stupid video that they're not going to watch, share it with them just for the sake of sharing it, because that will help us get to more people and get more people interested and get more people fired up about music and somehow finding their way to being involved in music. I just wanted to play guitar. I just thought, well, Angus is an old dude. He can do it. I'm going to learn how to do it myself. And, I'm not even a year. I mean, I'm well under a year, maybe 9 months into even thinking about it. And here I am. I've got this crappy TV show that very few people watch and ideas on creating and licensing my own music. So there's something to it. There is something with music. It's obviously welling up inside of me and has been there for a long time and is finding its way to the top. And I'm glad that it is. I'm not nervous and fidgety. I'm just kind of jumpy like that, I guess. I don't know. Certainly not nervous. I'm certainly not nervous because there's not enough people watching to be nervous. The fidgety part, I get it. I totally get what you're saying to me. That's, I think, where like a desk in front of me might come in handy, but then it's more like a newscaster, and that's really not what I'm trying to come across like. So, I don't know about that one, man. I'm just trying to come up with something. I mean, yeah, I think it is kind of me. I don't know. Perhaps I'm just always kind of nervous and fidgety. Part of it too probably is I'm really actually I try to police myself with what I say, what comes out of my mouth, because I don't necessarily want these videos to get age restricted, but that's part of it too, I guess, that I'm always trying to police what I say, because I can throw down with the best sailors out there, man. And got no trouble hanging with those boys. I grew up with farmers, and farmers can teach you to talk dirty just like a sailor can, and then it's in you, and you're stuck with it forever. But so I don't know. That's perhaps part of why it seems nervous and fidgety. Hopefully it doesn't seem like that to everybody else. I don't feel that way anyhow. I don't know. Maybe I should just get like a couch in here then, like a lean back, big chair. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of, that's going to be one of the upcoming goals, I guess. We're at the 41-minute mark. That's kind of probably time to move into the closing sequence here, if that's what we want to call it on the show. No, but you're right. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. So that maybe is part of the fidgety nervousness that you're seeing. Because I really don't know where to park my hands. This steel chair that I'm sitting on is not the most comfortable thing in the world on my ass. There's a myriad of reasons, I suppose, as to why a guy might look fidgety. We'll have to think on that one. Anyhow. Christ, I totally lost my so that's going to be part of the week coming up, is all that shit, and trying to do a lot of things. But yeah, I would like to move forward and get, the thumbnails better, get the thumbnails better, the descriptions better, the titles better, and use the AI to move ahead, get the videos out to more people, use the right words, the correct buzzwords, the correct hashtags, stuff like that, that I think I'm somehow missing, that I'm not getting right. Maybe there are settings that I don't have correct in YouTube. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be a good portion of my week, sticking to the MIDI, trying to figure out how to spread the word a little bit, but anyway, I think that's pretty much it for the day, gang. Hang on, I'm reading a chat here. Hold an instrument, maybe play a little. That's a good idea, Ross. That would definitely park my hands if I just kept a guitar in my hands all the time. Yeah, that would probably help a little. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if adorable is the word I would use on that one. But I did, you know what? Because I need to write these down, man. Yeah, I've said it 100 times. I need to get outlines for these shows, and maybe Ross is right. Maybe there needs to be a portion of the show that is me playing with a guitar, playing with a bass. I don't know, showing off like it's not a bad idea now that I kind of have this new camera set up. A guy could swing around and have some room, like spread out, right? And if we did that, then yeah, I could probably get like the spider exercise on camera, so it'd be easier to see. I didn't have any luck. I know we had talked about that the other day. I did not have any luck on that one. In terms, I don't want to knock over the glary, man. That's a $high glary back there, if you can see. Super high quality, super high dollar, primo bass. Yeah, so I didn't have any luck yet with trying to get the camera to be the phone to be the second camera. So I'll figure that out. Hang on one second. dog has returned from his nightly walk with the landlady. So he'll probably start hollering and yelling, and we ought to close the door. There's another one. I need to get the dog in the show. I think a lot of you guys might like watching the dog more than you like watching me, for fuck's sake. I could probably just put the goddamn dog on the camera and stand off to the side and talk, and I'd get more viewers, you know? That's probably how that one would work out. But I don't know, you know, and maybe you need to give up on some of the other ideas that I've got. And for the most part, just say, you know what, kind of fuck it, because it's me. And yeah, yeah, like maybe I just need to kind of say to hell with it. And if these things get age restricted, they get age restricted, because, you know, fuck. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to try and keep your mouth clean sometimes. Especially when it's not necessary throughout the vast majority of your world. I don't need to keep it all squeaky clean. You know, fuck. I mean, you work on job sites, construction sites. That's just, what the hell else are you gonna get? I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, right? Fuck. I mean, so I don't know. That may be some things to think about. Maybe that helps with the nervousness and the fidgetiness. And yeah, you know, a guest in here playing some drums and helping me warble some tunes or something, that'd be pretty cool. And we're going to figure that out. As I said at the beginning, I will give this long enough to make sure it's an abject failure before I give it up. So we'll see. You know, that's going to be the thing, though, this week, is to just kind of work on the channel. There's going to be practice, obviously, with the bass, with the guitar, and with the MIDI, but the channel needs some help. I need to get this second camera figured out. And maybe that just means I need to go get another camera. You know, maybe that means I need another $50 eBay camera to go with the first one. And then I can have that second shot of more open area. You know, the drummer in the corner, something like that. Tambourine player, you know, up on the risers. You can get a tambourine. I mean, cowbell. Obviously, we need a cowbell. You're not going to make much happen without a cowbell. More cowbell, said the man. Anyhow. Well. And my mother's watching the show tonight. Hello, Mom. How are you? Hi. Yes. So, you know, we'll see. I'm gonna work on the thumbnails. I'm gonna work on that dog too. I mean, he just doesn't like the camera, and I don't know how to make the dog I don't know how to make him not dislike the camera. But you know, he's a good old hound dog, and we'll try to get him in on the show one of these times. He's a singer. I mean, he's one hell of a singer. I might could get him in here and do it if I was to offer him up food. But given the hour, he doesn't need no food. He had his supper. He got his evening walk. So, anyhow, yeah, we're going to get into some MIDI. We're going to get into some, you know, camera angles. And I think the camera angle, this new one, I kind of like this new camera angle that we've used tonight. Let me know if you guys like it better than the previous camera angles. You know, let me know. Maybe it's still not quite the right one. Does show off a little more of what's going on. You can kind of see the corner of the desk there. You got the whole new little music studio set up. I mean, if you wanted to call it a studio, I think I gave you guys a shot of it the other night. But I'll give you another one. Why not? For those of you who might have not seen the show that night. Oh, wait. Hang on. Let me switch. We switch to the more live version of the picture so you can see. So there you go. We got the whole little thing set up now, right? Like I got a little music production workstation. Yeah, you can see we got the computer, we got the MIDI, we got the mixing boards for the show. Got the monitors, studio monitors. The Focusrite's back behind the computer. You can't really see it, but the Focusrite is up on that shelf. So that little table, man, was a good $6. I tell you what, that was a hell of a $6. Money definitely well spent. We'll swing back over. Oh, shit, the whole thing's moving around. Like I'd want it goddamn easy or something, you know. Anyhow, that's why we don't move the camera around while we're on TV, while we're live on the show. Because then it gets all fucked off. But, anyhow. So, yeah, we're going to work on that stuff. We're going to put some time in the little studio and try to get the quality of this channel up and give you guys something better to watch. Hopefully something that you're more willing to share with people. Let other people know that, hey, man, I've watched this, and it not be such a sad thing that you have. So, yeah, that's going to be the week. We're going to practice the music like always. The guitar and the bass are going to get their time every morning. I think that I will start, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. If I can figure out how to park everything in the right places. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll start with some Folgers and Fenders and do a little live morning playing, you know. Because, I mean, I guess you guys know how these live shows work. Once the live show's over, it's still up. You can still go see it. Even if you don't watch in the morning, you can watch later. But maybe that's something to do, you know, a little sunrise playing. And while I can, I think I'm going to try to do that. While I'm able to devote the time, while I still have the opportunity to devote as much time as I do to the channel, I think I'm just going to try to do that. So look for that to be coming up, you know, some live shows the next few mornings. Sunday morning we will still do a live life and music episode. I think I like doing those live better, actually, than trying to record them. I think it's more fun to do it live. You know, get up in the morning and take the dog to the park, play a little bit, and come in and give you guys a show for a half hour or so. Seemed to work out pretty well last week. So we'll do that again, and maybe this week we'll just let it flow from playing right into just, you know, doing that whole show as playing while we're doing it. But what a better way to talk about life and music if you're actually playing music. How novel of a concept, right? Good God. So that's that. Let's plan on that for Sunday morning. We'll make Sunday morning kind of a live playing and talking kind of a thing, and I'll start doing these Folgers and Fenders episodes in the mornings. Give you guys some live stuff to watch, you know. I think that whether it's a good, and you know, who knows, if it's going to work, it's going to work. If it's not, it's not. But I'll do it. You know, I'll put them up every morning for the next week or so. See what we can get. You know, do an hour and a half every morning. Some live time there, and give you guys a chance to just watch my practice, because that's really what it is. Me sitting on the front porch with an acoustic guitar, acoustic bass, and just practicing. You know, and the thing about practicing in that manner, I try to change the songs pretty frequently, because you know, the neighbors are going to go crazy having to hear the same goddamn song 37,000 times. Sometimes I feel bad playing the same song 2 times in a row, because I'm like, well, there's people standing around and neighbors are out here and shit. They don't want to hear the same goddamn song twice. But I need to play it twice because I'm trying to work through something. So, you know, I'm sure there's a few tunes my neighbors are certainly tired of hearing. But, yeah, let's figure on, I'll be back in the morning. I don't know. I'm not going to give you time. I don't know. 8 o'clock Mountain Time is probably generally when I hit the front porch with a cup of coffee and a guitar. So, you know, maybe 8 o'clock Mountain Time, maybe a little before that. yeah, we'll do a liver right from the telephone, and no extra stuff, just me and a guitar and a bass and a couple Folgers, cigarettes, all that good shit. Now, there's a question that I have no answer to, and I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning. Do you get booted from YouTube? Do you get, like, does the show get taken down if you smoke on screen? Because I know that smoking these days is, like, horrible compared to all the other shit on the planet that people do. Smoking somehow is the worst one ever. Yeah, so anyway, we'll come back in the morning. We'll do a live Folgers and Fenders, and play a little practice in the morning, let you guys watch it, check it out. We'll do that for the next few mornings, see if maybe that doesn't stir something up. But yeah, pretty well hit the hour mark for tonight. I think you guys are probably tired of watching this show here. Crappy covers on a Sunday school. That's not a bad idea. So yeah, we're gonna get that going in the morning. Sorry, I'm reading I'm reading comments on the computer. So yeah, we'll get that going in the morning. We'll just throw that on and see who watches, see who checks it out. And I'll continue to work on this MIDI and try to get something put together, hopefully by next Friday. I did make a lot of big strides this week with it and made some huge gains with the MIDI, so asking for something, even if it's just a 20-second clip for opening music and closing music next week for the show, doesn't seem so far away this week as it did last week. So I'm going to get there with that. Just keep making shit happen, man. That's kind of how it's going to go. So one more time, before we go ahead and kind of shut the world down for tonight, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming to check out the show. God knows there's a lot of better stuff to watch than me. So I really do appreciate you coming by and checking us out, giving us any kind of support. The comments, that stuff is hugely helpful. I love it. Not only are people watching, YouTube knows that you guys are making these comments. YouTube knows that there's engagement, that people are watching the show, and that'll help us get it out. Because, like I've said, and I'll continue to keep saying it, the whole point of the channel, of the shows, of the stuff that I put up is to show people the love, the joy, the huge gains in life that you get from music, just in general. And playing it is a whole lot better than listening to it. Take that from somebody who's been listening to it his whole life and never tried to learn until a few months ago. So that's the point of the channel. So if you know somebody that might be halfway on the fence about wanting to play music, or thinking about playing music, or used to and quit, whatever, let them share the show. Let them see it. Maybe they'll pull out something that I'm not even noticing is there for somebody to pluck out of these shows. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully, we can continue to show people that as bad as shit can be sometimes, there's still playing a little music here and there, and putting a smile on your face and some joy in your life, and helping other folks do the same thing. That's kind of what music's about. Because if you help somebody else get forward, move forward, have a smile, get some joy out of things, you're going to get the same thing from it. It's pretty simple. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel, share the show, share the videos with everybody you could possibly think of who might be interested in music. Give us some comments, good, bad, or otherwise. We sure want to hear it. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to say 0800 Mountain Time. I'll come on and do some Folgers and fenders practice in the morning for you on the front porch. And hell, maybe we even get the dog in there. Maybe we can get that goddamn dog to show up, lay around in the grass for a bit. He doesn't even like laying around in the grass. The dog's, he likes a damn couch. So, I mean, to some degree, the dog is